What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comic. We do live auctions, live claim sales. I rock with Tooth and Claw, hit animated television series. The Scotty Young joint, blowing up fast. X-23. So this is dope, man. All right, so this is beautiful. What's up, everybody? This is the 6th element of hip hop. I am your host, Reno Noir. This is your co-host, Stu Dog. What's up, Stu?
What's up?
I'm downloading the final Obi-Wan trailer. So we were gonna start a new show for everybody for the few guys that are here. If you're watching this in a replay, we're gonna start a new show called Wars Wednesdays to talk about the Obi-Wan show or whatever show Disney Plus happens to be airing at the time for Star Wars, Mandalorian or whatever it happens to be. We got the Ahsoka show coming up, the Acolyte, lots of Star Wars stuff, but Obi-Wan is actually going to be airing on Fridays, not just this Friday, but each Friday, and it's a 6-issue series. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to switch our DC show from Saturday to Wednesday, and we'll be doing the Star Wars show on Saturday to talk about Obi-Wan, which airs Friday. So little switcheroo there, but no big deal. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Obi-Wan final trailer, and we'll run that and chop it up, talk about it.
Let's get it popping.
Let's get it locking. Here we go. That'll work. Bing, bang, boom. So yeah, welcome to the show, Slade, and everybody else. Thanks for coming and kicking it with us. We're gonna have fun. We got lots of cool Star Wars shit to talk about today. And you might notice my Hellfire Club t-shirt, which you may or may not know is the Stranger Things season 4. They got the Hellfire Club, which our Marvel fans know is actually a X-Men thing. So in the X-Men, right, they got the Hellfire Club, which if you remember, if you're not familiar with the comics and you remember First Class, the X-Men movie that had Kevin Bacon, the guy that Kevin Bacon was acting as, Clay Shaw, he is the head. Sebastian Shaw is the head of the Hellfire Club in Marvel Comics. So he's like it's like a mutant thing, but they I don't know. They're deep. It's complex. There's a lot of shit to it. But anyway, the Stranger Things is borrowing that because we know the Stranger Things kids are fans of the X-Men, because during the show there was a little issue about a comic book, a bet that they made, and for whichever comic you want, and they all wanted that X-Men 134, which I think it's 134, the first appearance, or the Phoenix Saga. So when Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix, that was the big comic they were talking about in the show. But it's all about the wars, baby.
It's all about the wars. Always about the wars.
It's all about the wars. But before the wars, I got to show you something, Stu. Eobard Thawne.
Oh, Reverse Flash. Yes, sir. That is dope.
He is dope.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked he's still in the package, my man. That's what I'm messed up about. That he's still in there. Oh, okay.
He ain't gonna be in there long. You know that. Let me change my lighting because we got that's not gonna work. There you go. He's got I don't know if you can see, but he's got a really cool face sculpt, looking all mean and shit. There he goes. See that face?
That's dope.
Cool face sculpt. His little chest piece is really, it's raised up, really well made, really cool. I love the head. I call them the ears. Yeah, the lightning ears. I believe it was somebody was on here. They had a flash. You had showed your flash, and then I think it was Spade or Mash or somebody had their Flash, and it was actually this version of the toy of the figure of Flash.
It was Spade. Yeah, it was Spade. He had
Yeah,
the new 52 one. I think it
new 50.
was. I think, yeah, like the new 52 joint. But I had
That's right.
I had the animated series Flash.
Right. And then I also got Godspeed. Godspeed is
Really?
dope.
That's one I've never seen outside of a computer screen.
Yeah, Godspeed is dope.
His Godspeed is dope. Yeah.
I love his I love that mask, that face. He's got no nose, no mouth, no pupils, just like gold bubbles for eyes. Very ominous, badass looking Speed Force guy. Some Flash villain. Jump out of this full screen. But yeah, I picked those up at you'll never guess where.
Walmart.
Actually, GameStop.
Okay.
And I was blown
You know what?
away.
The last couple ones I got from GameStop, I was blown away because they don't seem like they stocked up or something.
Yeah,
Because they
GameStop
had
was packed with all kinds of dope shit. It was hard to pick. There was a lot of dope figures in GameStop today.
yeah.
Way more than normal. Like I don't usually see that many. Like I think they've really started to lean into the figures. You know, like before it was like it's video games. Oh, look, there's a couple of figures over here. Now they're doing a lot of figures because video games are largely digital anymore. So they have to rely on merch
They
and
bought
shit.
didn't they either merged or bought out geek.com or something like that.
Mm,
GameStop did, and that's why they've been more with the collectibles and the toys. 'Cause,
right.
but it's a
Right.
good fit for them.
Yeah,
Video
it
games
is.
and collectibles, it's a good fit for them, man.
Mhm.
You know,
It's a good way for them to stay in business because yeah, with video games, you know, with doing what they do, you
people
know,
don't realize that. People don't realize that GameStop's in the used video game market. Like they
right.
sell new games, but they say they.
That's how they
I read an
started as a used.
article. Right, they say they make their money off of used games from selling whatever they can use. So they was like, if people, because at one point people weren't trading in their systems and their games, it was keeping that shit. It was like, no, I'm keeping my joints. And GameStop was like, look, and we, that's how we make a bulk of our money. So we don't make
Right.
much off of new systems and games. We make money off of
Mhm.
reselling them, which is
Right.
true. So
Do you remember that whole big thing with the Bitcoin with GameStop? It was
no.
a big, yeah, it was a big like the stock market, like the Bitcoin or the GameStop stock. Maybe it wasn't Bitcoin. It was definitely a stock market thing.
Yeah. It was their
GameStop.
stock.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was like this
what it
big
was there
internet,
was a Reddit.
a
It was a
Reddit
Reddit
thing.
group.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a Reddit group,
Yep.
and they went out because you got to remember whenever Republicans get in office, it always happens because they want to be so conservative,
Right.
however you want to put it, but they don't want to move stuff. Like if something's good, they want to keep it that way. So every now and then, like what we're going through now, you have to raise the debt ceiling, and you have to raise the Fed. They don't want to do it when it's low. They want to keep it low, but it leads to
Mhm.
inflation and things like that.
Right.
So long story short, when it started happening, when Trump was in there, a lot of companies gonna go under. GameStop, Bed Bath and Beyond,
Mm-hmm.
AMC movie theaters. Uh,
Blockbusters.
there was a sex toy. It was like six things that this Reddit group picked that was
Yep.
their favorite things. They was like, these are our favorite things, and we don't want to see them
Right.
go away. So
Yep.
what
And then
they
they
did
did like,
was
yeah.
they bought the stocks and they held them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is the hedge fund people come in and they bet that the stock is going to go belly up.
Right.
So they buy it. And then when people see them buying it, the price goes up and then they dump it
The
once they
Reddit
make money off.
held that
So like,
shit.
right. So they held it. The Reddit people was like, all right, stock went up. We just going to hold it. And they kept holding it. And it was
Yeah.
funny because they had memes. They had
Yeah.
memes from Braveheart, like, hold.
Yeah.
They're showing them holding the swords. They're like, hold.
Mm-hmm.
And they were holding it and they held out for months. And they
Yep.
held out so long that the big money people, the hedge fund holders, they lost money. And
Yep.
so they had to dump their stocks
Yep.
and they didn't make any money. But what it did was it gave GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond, they actually made money
Yeah.
because they held.
It
And
might
so
have
now
saved GameStop. Yeah.
They might have. They did.
Yeah.
GameStop actually has a surplus now. AMC has a surplus.
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond. All these companies that they saved 6 companies from going under.
Yeah.
And when they asked the two dudes that started the leaders, they're like, "Yo, why'd y'all do that?" And they both said, "It's like because we tired of them doing that. We're tired of losing things that we like." The guy said, I
Yeah.
like GameStop. I like Bed Bath and Beyond.
Right.
I like those places, and I wanted to be around in 20 years.
Yeah.
And now they will be. So,
Yeah.
shout out to the Reddit group for that.
Or
Shout out
there's
to
a
y'all
there's
for
a dope documentary too about the
I want to see it.
whole thing.
Is it? I
Yeah,
keep hearing, but I don't. What's it called? I don't know if
I
it's.
don't know what
I'm
it's
not.
called. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah, I want to see it.
it's all
Yeah, I heard
about
it
that.
was, but I
Yeah.
want. It would. It would. It would. You know what? It would. Then they try to say like, because the government wants to regulate everything, and a lot of people they were mad. Like right now with Bitcoin, they're mad because um one of the reasons they want to regulate Bitcoin so they can track it. But the creators of Bitcoin keep telling them like, we can track every dime.
Right.
Of whatever. You don't have to regulate it. Try. All you gotta do is ask us. We're not Apple. We'll tell you where the money went. We'll tell you where it went. We'll tell you who did
Right.
what. But you got people laundering money through Bitcoin, and that's why the government wants to put certain regulations on it so it don't get people don't use it to launder things
Right.
of that nature. But you know it. You know. Look, stocks and insider trading is just as crooked as anything else, man. It's a white
Yeah.
collar crime. They're making money off it, and
Yeah, bro. They're all doing it. Like there's no way that these big hedge fund billionaires are just legit by the book. No, fuck no. Even
no,
look at Warren Buffett. I
no,
mean, come on. It is what it is. We know what it
no.
is. All right, guys. So Obi-Wan Kenobi final trailer. 2 days. It's gonna be out. Let's run this shit.
It's been 10 years.
The fight is done. We lost.
Leave us alone, Ben.
When the time comes, he must be trained.
Like you trained his father.
It's my responsibility.
Obi-Wan, I've loved you always.
There's a thing that swallows you. It holds you together when it's tearing you apart. It's terrifying.
The key to hunting Jedi.
They're coming.
Is patience.
Jedi are cowards. They failed you. There is no point in protecting them. Where is Obi-Wan?
The Jedi are all but extinct.
The Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it.
Stay hidden, or we will not survive.
You still want Kenobi. He's gone.
Where is he?
I want every bounty hunter to squeeze him.
You can't escape here, Obi-Wan!
I don't care what nobody say. That shit looks amazing.
They do.
Wow. The Inquisitor chick is I think her name was Rain. No, I might be wrong. Not sure, but she's a new character, and she's she's one of the she's an Inquisitor. It's not BD1, no. But or BD1
From the game. Let's be.
I'm thinking BD8. No, yeah, that it is a BD1 type droid. I don't know if it's the character from the game, but it is the same kind of droid for sure. Yeah, but You know, a lot of cool things in that trailer. You hear Obi-Wan saying, you know, "We lost the war." You know, the Jedi lost the war.
They
The
did
Sith
shit.
won, the Empire won, the Sith won, and yeah, and then, you know, he was like, he's gotta be trained, and his uncle's like, "How you trained his, you know, his dad, you know? You botched that one, Obi." So, yeah, and the Inquisitors look great. They're coming right off of Star Wars Rebels. You've got Dave Filoni on this. So I have very high hopes for it. You know, I know a lot of people are skeptical, because Boba Fett put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth about Star Wars shows on Disney Plus. A lot of people lost faith after that shit.
Well, remember, Kathleen Kennedy stated that they got to move away from all of those characters. When it comes to Star Wars, she wants to move away
Yeah.
from all the characters that were in the Skywalker saga.
She
don't
said
want
it's vital Lucasfilm move away
yeah,
from the
away from
Skywalker saga.
right,
We will
right.
stop recasting legacy characters. So yeah, she's not
I
gonna
don't, I don't, I don't see
recast, meaning,
how.
well, she
I don't
means
see-
that we're not gonna recast them like they did in Solo. Like if we had Harrison Ford, we can do some Han Solo shit. Or if we have Ewan McGregor, we can do some Obi-Wan shit. But we're not gonna recast those legacy characters with new actors. And her
Why would you?
reasoning is because Solo bombed. But it didn't bomb because you recast it. It bombed because you recasted it poorly. You didn't recast it with an actor that plays the fucking character well. I mean, come on, that's so lazy. Like, you just don't stop recasting legacy characters because you botched it. You know, don't botch it next time. That's all. Don't quit.
And if that was the case, I mean, man, they could have CGI'd it like they've been doing. Now. Just wanted to look younger. They could have made him look younger.
They could have made him look young. I don't know. Harrison's old as fuck, dude. He couldn't have probably done all that shit even with a CGI face. But no, the guy that played him isn't acting like Han Solo. He's acting like probably, you know, himself or something. Like,
Right.
you don't have
Well,
to
Harrison,
act like Harrison Ford, but you got to act like
shit,
Han
man.
Solo.
Harrison damn near 80, bro. Is he what, 79?
Yeah, bro. He's not
80?
playing.
He gotta be 79 or 80. And Solo came
Yeah.
out what, 5-6 years ago? He could have did it, man. He could have knocked it out.
You saw him in the sequel trilogy. He was barely doing that.
Man, 80 years old, bro. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Think about that. That's a lot. But we got Hayden Christensen, his Darth Vader suit. He said that the tech helped him get into character. He says that his Vader suit for Disney Plus has mechanical benefits to the wearer that make him feel more connected to his character. Darth Vader is arguably the most recognizable character in Star Wars by far, but so much that an architect even used his image as a gargoyle in Washington's National Cathedral. Vader, portrayed by the late David Prose, made his first appearance just minutes into the opening scene of A New Hope, captivating all the audiences right from the beginning. And Christensen was cast as Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Both movies explore Anakin's slow descent into the dark side of the Force. After succumbing to the temptations of the dark side and slaughtering countless younglings at the Jedi Temple, Anakin engages Obi-Wan in a lightsaber duel, only to become badly dismembered and burned and left to die. Anakin's then rescued by his new Sith mentor, Emperor Palpatine. But Christensen's final scene in the prequels depicts Anakin donning the iconic Vader suit and, you know, intimidating outfit that is mechanically necessary for his survival, but strategically old equipment. It's older tech, which the Emperor used on purpose because it wouldn't give him as good of range of movement and, you know, let him, you know, reach his full potential, hence, you know, being able to kill and overthrow the Emperor. So the Emperor gave him that old school iron lung tech to keep him down a notch, if that makes sense. And, although it looked like this would be the last time that audience would see Hayden Christensen in Vader's suit, we got him back for the Obi-Wan series. And in an interview that he did, he said that the Vader suit for Obi-Wan has working components to maintain his health in real life. He said it's not so. He said it's so hot and heavy, but there's an underlayer to Vader's suit that has cooling liquid in it. So when you're not working, you sit down and you get plugged into this device that circulates the liquid and helps you cool down. And the need for that mechanical element makes you feel more like the character. You know what I mean? Like you're Vader himself. Like you need this suit, and it's like actual. So when I read this, I thought he was gonna say, the blinking lights or maybe the breathing sound or whatever was in the suit. But no, he's literally talking about technology that the costume has that is, makes him feel like he's in a suit like Vader is, because the sheer weight of the costume, accompanied by the fact that it's fully enclosed and black, makes filming under the heat of the set's lighting very difficult. And luckily, there's a cooling system built into the Vader suit to keep him from overheating on set, which the actor appreciated. And rather than constantly disassemble the outfit during breaks and cuts, and Christensen was able to get some relief from the heat while staying in the costume. Other Star Wars alumni, like Anthony Daniels, have complained about the high temperatures and restrictive movements caused by their costumes in the past. So fortunately, current cast members of the franchise, such as those in Obi-Wan Kenobi, can enjoy a reprieve from some of the previous filming burdens due to technological advances that we now have. And Christensen can now experience the new comforts of it while also having a deeper connection to the character. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I did read. Since I've been reading the Vader series, it did say that they said that Vader made a lot of improvements to that suit that helped him.
Yeah.
Over years, because they said, well, they never said the Emperor, but they did say he made a lot of.
Oh, you're talking about the character.
Yeah, the character. Like in the
Right.
comics, they talk about how every so often, like he kind of, because they were saying when he would go to Mustafar, like he would spend a lot of time at Mustafar for that reason. He was continually upgrading the tech for the suit, and it just kept him busy. And they said one of the reasons why and he was saying as Vader, that's when he felt that the Emperor did that to keep him busy, so that he can't plot against him.
Yeah.
But he would be too busy trying to save his own life.
Yeah, the Emperor made that. The Emperor, purposely put him in outdated tech, because Star Wars technology at the current time would have allowed for Vader to have his full range of motion back. He could have been just as agile and dexterous as he ever was, even more so with the enhancements that they could have used. They could have just put the robotic, the robotic limbs and all of that, and they could have made the breathing apparatus for his lungs and all that. Could have been very small, very compact, and not encumbering him at all. But the Emperor purposely put him in this outdated iron lung of a suit that made him, very Frankenstein-y. And but yeah, in the comics, he's upgraded it, here and there to make him more. And I think it's in the comics, as long as the Emperor is still alive and the Emperor is still his master, he can't fully just because I'm thinking if he could upgrade it, why doesn't he just do away with it and update it to the current technology that would give him full range of motion and all of that? But I'm thinking he doesn't do that because he doesn't want the Emperor to know that he's upgraded the suit to his advantages. He wants the Emperor to think that he's still encumbered by that, by the old suit.
Oh, Vader did that. Yeah. Vader.
Vader
did that constantly. That's why he created Star Killer.
Yeah.
Behind the Emperor's back with the cloning technology.
Right. Right. Don't you
There
think
was a
it's
lot
dope
he
though
did.
that they got the cooling system in the real suit for Hayden?
Oh yeah, bro.
That's
Yeah, I think
dope.
that's you know.
That's super
I
cool.
mean, you would need it because I remember when they were filming RoboCop, they were saying Peter Weller was saying being in that suit was it was like it was hell.
Yeah.
He was like, man, and they filmed it during the summer both times. He was like, look,
Right.
he was
And
like, I
they're
lost
filming
balance
this in like a
in the
desert
summer.
setting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, they're probably, in the Middle East somewhere or way out in the desert in California or something like that. And so it's probably murderous, even on set with the super hot lights and all of that shit. But yeah, I think it's cool that not only that it has the cooling system to make it cool, but it's cool that it has like actual electronics that he's got to like plug in and be attached and encumbered, and it gives him the vibe to really get into character. Like you could really feel like you're really Darth Vader when you plug that shit in. That's a
That's good
cool,
because now they don't have to. Yeah, I remember they would have to take all of that off
right?
just to give him a break. And so this way, he doesn't have to really come out of most of it. And when they got to go to shoot, they can maybe put the helmet on, the
Just
cape
hop
and the
up and get in
gloves,
it.
hop
Yeah.
up again and go back to work.
Yep. Now we know from the last movie in the sequel trilogy, uh, that Rey is a Palpatine. However ridiculous it is, that's what they went with. So, but Star Wars has been going through a bit of a renaissance with, series like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and like numerous upcoming projects for the Disney Plus series like The Acolyte, Ahsoka, the Rogue One, or it's something it's like a fighter pilot show. But yeah, so and the Lucasfilm has pivoted, right, from using film as their main storytelling platform due to their failure of the last film, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and basically the sequel trilogy itself. So they're moving away from film as their main platform and moving over to shows as their main storytelling platform for Star Wars. And this is the first time in history that's ever been the case. Even when there were Star Wars shows, the movies were still the main plot device or the main storytelling device, but now it shows. And Rise of Skywalker has a lot of issues, but one major was Rey's parentage. In the film, Rey is revealed to be a Palpatine. Spoiler alert, and fans hated that. Before the film premiered, there was a rumor that the character could be related to Obi-Wan. We were hoping that she was going to be a Kenobi, which would have satisfied a lot of fans. But it seems that it wasn't true. In an interview with, I think, Vanity Fair, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy revealed that Obi-Wan was never going to be related to Rey. She said the bigger issue is talking about Obi-Wan as a Jedi Master and the issue of attachment and selflessness. In order for Obi-Wan to have a child, you are really, really impacting the rules around the Jedi way, said Kennedy. What does that mean if that were explored? And certainly there were a lot of ideas being thrown around, but anything to do with Obi-Wan in that regard was pretty much off the table because it flies in the face of everything George created in the mythology. We're not rigid about it. It's certainly open for discussion all the time, but that's a pretty significant tenet in the mythology of the Jedi that we'd be reluctant to mess with. I take great issue with her quote there, because give me a fucking break, Kathleen. You know damn well you don't give a damn about what George created or the rules around the Jedi, right? You don't care, because if you did, you know, like one part she said, anything to do with Obi-Wan in that regard was pretty much off the table because it flies in the face of everything George created in the mythology. Well, how about the fact that your entire script for all three movies slaps the face of George Lucas's created mythology, and the script that he intended for those movies to follow. So, you know what I'm saying? It kind of it doesn't track her saying that. Are you there? You with me, Stu?
I'm with you.
All right. What do you
Well,
think?
because I think Kathleen Kennedy's done everything she can to make Star Wars her own baby. I mean,
Yeah.
and then take the credit for what George Lucas already set up. To me, it seems like a lot of people say she's trying to feminize Star Wars. I agree with that, bro. I agree with
Yeah.
that 100%. All the main characters, mostly now that are powerful, are females. Um, and when the males falter and fall, a female usually rises in their place. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't, I
And
don't, I don't get it.
she purposely ruined Luke Skywalker because they wanted to literally they said they wanted to kill the patriarchy. Dude,
I don't.
Star Wars has never been uh a male thing or a woman hating thing. There's always been strong female characters in Star Wars since the very first movie. It's never been.
Yeah,
Look, you went from Princess Leia to Padme to Ahsoka. Like you didn't have to like destroy Luke Skywalker to make Rey. You could have just had Rey. You
you
know what I
could.
mean?
Yeah,
Like it just made no sense. But you could tell that it was some real man hating stuff, and that's really the only excuse for any of it. But in Obi-Wan Kenobi the series, we will, of course, see Ewan McGregor back as the character and Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader. But Ewan recently revealed that if he would reprise his role outside of the Solo series, and it seems that the actor would be totally up for that. He also revealed how it felt to return to the role and detailed the experience. He said it was nice to come back to bridge the gap between me and Alec Guinness. I got as much or more out of playing him this time than I did in the first 3 movies put together. That's to do with the writing and the people that we're making the series with and the technology and how different everything is. That's a big statement.
it is. It is a very big statement.
Yeah.
But we need Star Wars, man. We need this. We need this to be a hit. We need this to knock it out the park. To keep,
Mhm.
so people keep faith with Star Wars. I mean, like you said, Boba Fett it just wasn't impressive at all. The last 2 episodes were, but the whole thing as a whole, no, it just wasn't impressive, man.
Yeah.
Whoever did Mandalorian needs to be in charge of Star Wars. Period.
That's Dave Filoni. Yeah, Dave
Yeah, Dave
Filoni
Filoni.
and Jon Favreau.
Yeah, he
But
needs
yeah,
to be in charge.
bridging the gap between him and Alec Guinness, right? So that's Alec Guinness is the guy that played Obi-Wan in the original trilogy. The original movie, because he didn't make it past the first movie, really. I guess if you count the Force Ghost stuff. But so he's saying like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, that was the last we saw of Obi-Wan. Oops. And so there we go. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, the still malfunctioning.
No, you're good.
Okay. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, we saw Kenobi for the last time, and he was young. But what happened between the end of Revenge of the Sith and him being old in the movies? I'm trying to fix that display. Actually, my camera is wonky right now. Hold on. Yeah, why is it all weird like that?
No, you're good on my end.
Now it's good. Now it's good. No, it had me all scrunched out. Let me see how it looks on YouTube. And there we go. So yeah, But yeah, I mean, that's a big statement. He said that he got as much or more out of playing him this time than he did in the first 3 movies put together. So you got to remember, Ewan McGregor played Obi-Wan Kenobi through all 3 of the prequel movies. He was pretty much the star. Like, he was the main character of most of the movies, and Hayden Christensen sort of took that star position in the last movie. But for him to say that he got more out of this 6-episode miniseries than those 3 movies gives
That
me a
says a
lot
lot.
of faith. Yeah, it says a lot. It gives me a lot of faith about that, because he said that's to do with the writing and the people we're making the series with and the technology and how different everything is. So, he's saying that the writing is so good that, it really, bridges that gap between young Kenobi and old Kenobi and makes him, feel more Obi-Wan-ish than he's ever felt, which is great. Because like you said, we gotta save Star Wars here. But
Yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do.
yeah. But yeah, the series is described as during the reign of the Galactic Empire, former Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi embarks on a crucial mission. Kenobi must confront allies turned enemies and face the wrath of the Empire. Obi-Wan Kenobi will premiered May 27th, 2022 on Disney Plus. The series stars Ewan McGregor, Joel Edgerton, Bonnie Pease, a whole bunch of names, a lot of people. O'Shea Jackson Jr. So I'm interested to see young Ice Cube Jr. in this movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I want
In this show. Yeah. I don't know what he's gonna play, but yeah, so he'll be in this. So
He plays Kyle Kestis.
no, because Kyle Kestis is a ginger. Right?
Yeah, he is. Let's just say they switched it up for the show.
That would be dope. That would be dope. We might get some Kyle Kestis though. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, because he should be. Yeah, he's alive around that time. Yeah, and he's young. He's yeah, he's very young. So I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for that Stranger Things. But as far as Obi-Wan, hopefully they'll answer a lot of questions, man. Like, because there's a lot of questions to be answered, not the dumb questions that people, why does Obi-Wan spell his name Obi, Wan? We don't, we don't care about none of that. We want to know what happened. We want to know what happened with Luke, how Obi-Wan was able to hide in plain sight. Why the sisters never found him. And we do know that he did. We do know, according to the comics, that him and Vader did have a couple duels.
Right.
Before he just finally just fell off the radar before they met for the last time at the Death Star.
Yeah. And it's a lot to learn about. I think we can all agree that The Mandalorian not only reinvigorated Star Wars as a franchise, but it also launched Pedro Pascal's career into the stratosphere. Because Pedro Pascal was he had a role in Game of Thrones, but he wasn't like a big known guy until Mandalorian. Now he's huge. He's done a tremendous job of portraying Din Djarin. So that much is already hard to fathom the idea of him not playing the part. Believe it or not, though, there are rumors circulating all over the web that the 47-year-old actor is on his way out of the Mandoverse. According to some rumors, due to his packed schedule, Pascal will be leaving The Mandalorian after season 3, with the show shifting its focus on characters like Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano. A rumor that is yet to be confirmed. Turns out, though, there's even a wilder rumor out there that, and according to internet gossip, Pascal is set to be recast after season 3 and replaced by The Boys actor Carl Urban, who Star Trek, Thor Ragnarok. Unsurprisingly, he's never heard of the aforementioned rumor while speaking with the Radio X interview, but he set the record straight regarding his alleged Star Wars casting. Urban hilariously responded, "This is news to me. Isn't that like, oh, who do we know that can work under a helmet?" I know. Carl Urban, he did Judge Dredd. It's like, come on, guys, no. So as it stands, we're still being kept in the dark with regards to Lucasfilm's plans for the beloved Disney Plus series. However, considering it has consistently been delivering the goods since its premiere in 2019, it would be safe to assume that Din Djarin's adventures will continue past season 3. It would be stupid if they didn't. They would not be smart for that.
They'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is just rumor.
Mhm.
I can't see any actor that has a hit series, a TV series. It is not like, I mean, look, they're not doing Knight Rider seasons where you or the old Star Trek where you got 22 episodes. I
Right.
mean, where you spend most of the year filming, they're done in a couple months. They're done in about 3-4 months,
Right.
and they film all the episodes. So I can see them doing Mandalorian and then going to do something else, the rest of the year. It's possible now with the way they
Mhm.
do things. It's just not like it was before, where we were, like, I don't know, first season of 18 is what, 19 episodes. I mean, in the 80s,
Wow.
that's what we did. The 90s, that's what we did.
Yeah.
We did anything from 15 episodes on up. You had a season, but
But they
now,
were short. They were 25 minutes long. They were cheaply made.
yeah,
But now these are like $30 million episodes.
right.
So we're getting much
And
shorter
they're about an
shows.
hour, right? They're about an hour each.
Mhm. But much shorter, like seasons and stuff. A lot less episodes. But
Because you figure it's two episodes. One episode equals 2 episodes from the 80s because it's about an hour. We're in
yeah.
the 80s, everything's about a half hour. Yeah, commercials. You got 50 minutes. You know what I mean? So it's about the same. 6 episode season is a 12 episode season 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. But uh, it's no comparison because I hated TV. Like I don't like network TV. I don't like TV shows. They're whack. I liked films. I was into movies. But ever since The Sopranos, they've been doing better shows. Like their shows are mini movies, right? So it's like now I like shows better than films because you're getting a 10-hour movie in a lot of cases, which is gives us much more story and lets us really delve into that story and those characters and stuff like that. So I'm digging it. Slade Wilson asked us who is the Inquisitor chick earlier. Um, she's her name is Moses Ingram. She recently detailed her villainous role as one of Darth Vader's Inquisitors. In the upcoming series is set 10 years after the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which saw the fall of the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic at the hands of the evil Emperor Palpatine. Ewan McGregor reprises his role as Jedi Obi-Wan, as he lives in exile on Tatooine to protect young Luke Skywalker from the dangers of the Empire. And Moses Ingram, stars as Reva, the third sister of the Darth Vader's Inquisitors, which is an organization of dark force users tasked with hunting down the remaining Jedi who survived the Emperor's Order 66 at the end of the Clone Wars. The Order of Inquisitors was initially formed by the Emperor leading up to the end of the Galactic War, and Palpatine used stolen force-sensitive children as well as Jedi converts, whether willing or through torture, to fill the ranks of his dark side platoon. How Reva found herself among the order is yet to be revealed. But in a recent interview, she described a new character, which will be introduced in the series. The actor described Reva as someone who is determined as well as relatively stubborn in regard to achieving her goals. But she said, I am an Inquisitor. I would call myself the Inquisitor, actually. Reva's fiercely intelligent, and very quick on her feet. Someone who is always listening and intent on doing what she thinks is right, even if no one else agrees with what she is doing. um, yeah, typical. Ingram's description of her character implies a great level of importance. However, she is called the third sister, a lower rank among the Order of Inquisitors. They are named based on their sex. However, the origin of the numbering system has yet to be revealed. Rupert Friend portrays the Grand Inquisitor, the leader of the warriors who only answer to Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, someone that Reva must obey. And Ingram's assertion may imply that Reva may be one of Vader's most devoted members of the Order, who believes so deeply in their cause, perhaps even more so than the Grand Inquisitor himself. And but it's unclear as to why Ingram's character has retained her name, because as part of their induction as an Inquisitor, members have to leave their real names behind as a sign of true devotion, as well as a way to dehumanize them. And this may be because of Reva's headstrong nature, which is what she described, or perhaps, it's possible that Reva's name is used by Obi-Wan Kenobi because once he knew her prior to the fall of the Republic. But Obi-Wan may refer to her by a real name instead of the title given to her by a dark side order in an attempt to kind of remind her who she used to be. But her description of Reva only further strengthens the uniqueness of the character. So that's who she is, Slade. That's the best that we can really sort of. But let me hold on. There's some jerk off in the thing. Let me block him. Okay, there we go. Slade, you can't. There's no naked girls, man. This is not the kind of show. Yes, you got the Funko Pops, the third sister.
They got a Funko Pop. I'm not surprised. They got Funko Pops for everything, bro.
Yeah,
No, I'm not surprised.
But the Inquisitors,
I do know the Inquisitors are. It was something that Palpatine did as a distraction for Vader. He put them under Vader's control. So anything you see them do or say, it's because of Vader. But Vader was very cruel to the Inquisitors. Like he hated them. He didn't like none of them. And if he could have killed them, he would. And the only reason why he didn't was because the Emperor instructed him not to. But he did instruct him to train him. But Vader used that as an excuse to cut off the hands, the arms.
right.
There's not an Inquisitor with a missing body part, out of the 9. Vader was very, very cruel to him. That's in the comic books. I mean, like he was like mentally, physically, in every way that he could dog him.
Right.
He did it.
Yeah. He treated him. They tortured him. They tortured some of them. Because some of them were Jedis that, that didn't willingly convert. They were actually tortured into converting. But but the Inquisitors are not Sith Lords in Star Wars, despite being dark side Force users and Darth Vader's minions. And the reason goes back to the Sith Order's convoluted rules. Star Wars is a complex franchise, as we know, with hundreds, if not thousands, of contradictory storylines and retcons and legends, and but those minor issues really pale in comparison to the multitude of rules that members of the various groups and orders have to contend with, the Sith being a main one. Because just like the Jedi, the Sith follow an ancient religion that revolves around the Force. Though for them, it's all about power, passion, succumbing to the dark side. Just because someone follows the dark side of the Force and wields a red-bladed lightsaber doesn't mean that they're Sith, or Sith Lords. Anyone can wield a lightsaber in Star Wars. It doesn't require being Force sensitive, but being a Jedi mandates adherence to the Jedi code. In a similar fashion, being a Sith means following the Sith code, as well as the rule of 2. So the rule of 2 was created by Darth Bane in the Old Republic era. And it says that there can only be one Sith Lord and one Sith apprentice, one to have the power and one to crave the power. Once that Sith apprentice gets up to their master's level or surpasses, they kill and they're expected to kill their master and take on a new apprentice. So only 2 Sith at a time. Because before Bane did that, there were armies of Sith. There was a Sith Jedi war. I mean, there was, hundreds of thousands of Sith. But and a bunch of Sith lords and chieftains and all of that. But once he wiped them all out, just 2, because it would help them control things from the shadows. And if the Jedi thought they were gone and didn't know they existed, they could operate, much better. And following the Jedi Purge in Star Wars canon, Emperor Palpatine fulfilled his plan to establish the Inquisitors, an organization of Dark Force side users dedicated to hunting down the Jedi who survived Order 66. That's all the Inquisitors are. And Darth Vader led the group, which was commanded by his Grand Inquisitor, a former Jedi Temple guard. So the Grand Inquisitor was actually a Jedi, and he guarded the temple. Still, though, the Grand Inquisitor nor any of the Inquisitor was Vader's apprentice. Therefore, it wasn't a Sith. The Inquisitors are agents of the Sith, but not Sith themselves because they exist outside of the rule of 2. It's possible that the Inquisitors could have become Sith if they existed in the Old Republic era when the Sith Order was, thousands deep. But things were different in the age of the Empire, in which only Palpatine and Vader were Sith Lords. Because of Darth Bane's philosophy, the Sith were governed by the notion that only 2 of them could exist at any one time, a master and an apprentice, what ensured their survival. And in many ways, the Grand Inquisitor is like Ahsoka Tano, a former Jedi who continued to use the Force and their lightsabers in spite of not serving a particular order. And what's interesting is that most Star Wars movies, TV shows, and games have included dark side Force users, but most of them weren't Sith. For example, the main films had Darth Maul, Count Dooku, Darth Sidious, and Darth Vader as the only Sith lords, but Maul was no longer a Sith when Sidious took Count Dooku as his apprentice. And despite, ruling the First Order, neither Snoke or Kylo Ren were Sith either. And the Sith remained as enigmatic as leaders as they were in the shadows. And that won't be any different in the Obi-Wan series, but that is sort of, what the Inquisitors are, because a lot of people have asked me, why are they Sith? Are they Sith Lords? Are they Darth's apprentice? Like, what are they? So
they're just in the comics. They were how can I explain it? It was like a task force that they put together to hunt down the remaining Jedi that they knew escaped. Like, they knew there were certain Jedi that escaped Order 66.
Right.
But at the same time, they needed the presence of Darth Vader and the Emperor to pull them, to keep the Empire together. Like, them two together kept, but they also I remember they were still working on a Death Star at the time. So they were also overseeing that project. Mm-hmm. And the Death Star hadn't been fully created or operational, as they say. But that was the main thing of building the Death Star. Once they built the Death Star, they had the power to destroy any planet, anybody that stood in the way, or any planet from the Council that stood in the way of, the Empire. They would send the Death Star to destroy it. And that was the way to keep order in the galaxy. So when they had the Inquisitors, they were created in the comics. They were created for that reason. It's like their task force, their Navy SEALs. Like you said, they're not Sith, but they are formidable. And they can take out a Jedi.
They're Force users, and they wield lightsabers. They wield the Force. They got all the powers. They're just not technically Sith. There's only 2 Sith ever at one time, so technically,
like
they're
Ventura,
not Sith.
Like Ventura was never a Sith. She's never given. She was trained. Like, this is what it is. They're trained in the ways of the dark side, because in the comics they also call them red blades too. So you can be trained in the ways of the dark side, but you don't have to be a Sith. Like you
Right.
can
It's
be
like
trained in the
Kylo
ways
Ren
of
and
the
Snoke.
Force. Right. You can be trained in the ways of the Force, but you don't have to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
So that was what. And then, but Ahsoka wanted to be a Sith, and Dooku, his cruelty,
You mean
or
Ventress?
being cruel, yeah, Ventress. So he to being cruel to her was that he never gave her like she completed the training, like literally did everything, and
Yeah.
passed, and he just wouldn't give her that Sith title,
He couldn't.
and that's what made her. That's what made her kind of like rebel against him and the Emperor.
Mhm.
But I don't.
He couldn't.
When it comes to, I don't know. I don't know if he could. I just know he never
He
did it.
couldn't because there can
Um,
only be 2. So at that
right.
time, it was the Emperor and Darth, or the Emperor and Dooku, or the Emperor and Maul. So whenever like if Darth Vader takes an apprentice, or Dooku if an apprentice of the Sith master takes an apprentice, they're not a Sith. But let's say you've got Emperor Palpatine, you've got Darth Vader, and Darth Vader takes on an apprentice. Well, that apprentice is never going to be a Sith until Darth Vader kills the Emperor. Then that apprentice will become the Sith apprentice of the Sith Lord Darth Vader. But
Yeah.
as long as Palpatine's the Sith Lord, Vader's the Sith apprentice. So that he couldn't give it to her because there can only be 2 at a time.
Right. But you can be trained in the ways of the dark side, and you can work
Absolutely.
for the apprentice or the master. And that's what the Inquisitors were. The Inquisitors were
Right.
they were trained in the dark side, and they were able to, scour the galaxy looking for survivors of Order 66, which is what their job was.
Right.
Exactly what they did.
Yep.
Now, if you needed the big guns, then Vader came in. Like at the end of Rogue One, could they have sent the Inquisitors? Yeah, but they did. Why? They needed the big guns. They sent Vader. Why? Because it basically was something about the Death Star. That was the one thing that the Emperor wanted to
There was
keep.
the plans of the Death Star.
Yeah, yeah. When it came to the Death Star, you can't send the little guys. You got to send the big guns.
Yeah.
And at the end of that movie, you saw Vader go in there and damn near get the plans. He almost had them.
He almost had him just by a few seconds.
Yeah, a few seconds. Yeah, he missed it. But he damn sure went in there. He damn sure almost got it. So that's as far as that's what I know about the Inquisitors from reading the comics. Because I've been reading the Vader series for maybe about 2 years now. When it first came out, I'm reading them since they came out. But they're very good. They're very, very good.
Very good.
Very, very addictive. Very addictive reading.
No, they're really good. And yeah, they it's a lot of great comics in Star Wars. Legacy is another great one that takes place sort of in the future, way in the future. It's like Han's granddaughter and like Luke Skywalker's like grandson Cade, and there's a lot of eras and different shit you can read. So if you can, a lot of people can argue about what's what in Star Wars, but you got to remember, you got to put it in perspective of the era, because there's different shit in different eras. Like if I say there can only be 2 Sith, and you say no, there's thousands of Sith, there's Sith armies. Well, in what era? In the Old Republic, yes, there were thousands of Sith, there were hundreds of Sith lords, there was Sith everywhere. But after the whole Republic era, the rule of 2 was implemented, and then there's only 2. So there's a lot of rules and shit in Star Wars, but a lot of contradictory stuff. But again, just check out what era it is if you want to, know what the rules are. You can't ask the rules unless you put it in context of the era. But speaking of Darth Vader, one of his greatest enemies is sand. You guys seen the meme? Anakin hates sand. For good reason. He dealt with a lot of shit on that desert. He was a slave on that desert. His mom was a slave on that desert. His mom was, killed and presumably raped on that desert. He killed all the sand people, and that there was just a lot of shit in that sand. He hates sand. It's a joke, but he faces his worst nightmare, Sand, in the upcoming issue of the Marvel Comics Star Wars Darth Vader comic. In Darth Vader number 26, sends Darth Vader into a sandstorm, and Vader number 26 will come out today. Oh, I'm sorry, not today, August 24th. So Wednesday, August 24th. Which it's quite a ways away, and so you'll probably forget this by then, but spoiler alert anyway. But yeah, the issue features like a main cover by Raza, which is a great artist, as well as variant covers. There's going to be a Sprouse cover and a Malieve cover. We all know about Anakin Skywalker's aversion to finely ground particulate matter, but what does sand mean to the Dark Lord of the Sith? The official solicitation reads, when Sabe, Vader's unlikely new ally, goes missing, Vader must confront his own dark heart in the maelstrom of a terrible sandstorm while tapping into one of his earliest skills in a widely unexpected way. Some of these covers are really cool looking, like the one I just showed you with him buried in the sand. And let me see if I can show you the full cover. Yeah. So there's that cover, and then we've got another really cool cover, variant cover. Let me try and get them up on screen for you. Boom. All right. So yeah, this I think is the main cover. That's pretty dope. I definitely can't wait to get this one. I collect Vader comics for the covers because they're so dope. Like any cover. Yeah, bro. I love this shit. Like I'm copping this, dog. Like I got a big stack. I got a big stack of Vader comics that I pretty much bought for the the covers. Let me block this dude again. What the why does naked, like, come on, man. Naked girl here, streamer recommend. Like, that's not helping you. Bro, you're not advertising. Like, no one's gonna go there from this. Stop it. But yeah. Hayden Christensen also may appear and probably will appear in the Ahsoka show, because Vader and Ahsoka have a real deep connection. I mean, Ahsoka was Vader's apprentice before he was Vader. When he was still Anakin the Jedi, Ahsoka was his Padawan. So when he became Vader, breaking Ahsoka's heart, basically, they fought. And in the Rebels show, I think it was in Rebels, she came back.
She came back.
But Hayden Christensen responds to the reports about Vader's rumored appearance in the Ahsoka series. The actor is returning to Star Wars after almost 2 decades for the Obi-Wan show. But there's a lot of anticipation, surrounding this show for a lot of reasons, but arguably the biggest one is the confirmed rematch between Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi by Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. But beyond that, there's no word yet on, when fans will see either McGregor or Christensen again in the franchise, although there's been rumors that Darth Vader will be appearing on Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson will lead the series as the star. But yeah, when they asked him, he's adamant that he doesn't know anything about the matter. McGregor, on the other hand, remained quiet the whole time, despite the host's valiant attempt to get any kind of information. Christensen sticks with his claim that he's unaware of what's going on with Ahsoka. He said, "I don't know. I can't really speak to the Ahsoka series. I don't know about that one." But originally introduced as Anakin's Padawan in the animated Star Wars The Clone Wars, Ahsoka's story was further fleshed out in the Clone Wars series and Star Wars Rebels. But it wasn't until The Mandalorian Season 2 that she made her live-action debut with Rosario Dawson playing the character. The inaugural Disney Plus Star Wars series also set the stage for Ahsoka's story, as it was revealed that she is on the hunt for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thrawn is this guy, and he's a major character in Star Wars now, from Legends. He's this blue dude right here. It's called a Chiss, as the alien that they are. But he's the Grand Admiral Thrawn, and he's got I think 3 books. I think there's like 3 books, the Thrawn trilogy, or I mean 2 trilogies at least. But there's the Thrawn trilogy that they're gonna largely be pulling from, and he was in Rebels. So at the end of Rebels, you see Thrawn and Ezra, the main character of Rebels, basically drifting off into space, and no one kind of knows what happens to them after that. It's kind of left unsaid. And so we are expecting to see both Thrawn and Ezra in the Ahsoka show. But because Ahsoka is hunting Thrawn and in turn Ezra. And this means that the Ahsoka show takes place after the events of the original trilogy and the death of Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi. So as a result, there's a couple of ways that Christensen can still be involved in the project. For starter, Ahsoka can feature flashbacks. Otherwise, the former Jedi Master Padawan could reconnect with Anakin, taking the form of a Force ghost. The fact that Lucasfilm already had Christensen return to Star Wars makes it hard to believe that they won't be trying to put him in more projects, where Vader or Anakin cameo can help the story. Aside from being a great, active fan service, seeing Vader and perhaps more importantly Anakin in Ahsoka can make the show better, considering the pair's history, and it could also give a deeper meaning to Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker's relationship that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett. For how, though Christensen isn't saying anything, so we'll have to wait for more confirmation. But the other way that Vader can be in the show is a lot of this show is going to involve the you watched Rebels, right, Stu?
Yeah.
What's the name of that? I can't remember the time travel. It's like a realm where they go and there's time travel. It's like a door. It's called the door of something, the window or something. Shit.
Oh,
Hmm. It's already started used once. Well, it's a plot device very common in other sci-fi stories, but time travel has existed in Star Wars, but it's only been used once in the in Rebels, but I'm trying to remember the damn name of the thing, or see if I could find it here. World Between Worlds. So it's called The World Between Worlds. So far, Star Wars movies have never come close to utilizing something like time travel. However, in the animated series Rebels, they brought the concept of time travel into the saga. Among the various elements that Rebels added to Star Wars canon, the World Between Worlds made Ahsoka able to travel into the future and open up a Pandora's box that the Star Wars show was quick to close. So if they want to bring Vader in this show, they're gonna be using the World Between Worlds. We know that just from reports or whatever, that they're gonna use it, and it's gonna be a major plot device. But if you watched Rebels, this was the World Between Worlds. You see it's kind of like a time portal. It's got these weird geometrical shapes, and then there's like that portal there in the middle with the triangle. So there's like a big triangle and a circle inside the triangle, and through the circle you can see that it's a portal to another world or another time or another place. And then there's like geometrical patterns all around and stars,
yeah,
and
stars. Yeah.
Ezra there in the foreground, and then also you see Ezra in the background looking through the portal. And so that is the world between worlds. But apparently that world between worlds device or area or thing is going to be in the show, in Ahsoka. So that's
Mm.
that's the way that they could bring Vader in. That's the most likely way that they could bring Vader in. But yeah, it's pretty much throughout the fourth and last season of Rebels. We followed the crew of the Ghost trying to find out what the Empire's plans were for Lothal and why Emperor Sheev Palpatine had a particular interest in the planet. And then the answer was lying in a forgotten Jedi temple on the planet, whose entrance was guarded by a painting of the Mortis gods, the father, the daughter, and the son. So if you guys aren't familiar with the show, it's gonna get really confusing. But the father, the daughter, the son is a whole thing. The Force, the dark side, the light side, and it's a whole thing. But those who had watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars recognized the iconography, which represented the mysterious and omnipotent Force being that Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Anakin once encountered in that other show. Guided by the wolves of Lothal and in possession of a special key, Ezra Bridger managed to open the door to the temple and found himself inside one of the biggest, greatest mysteries of the galaxy, an immense void that connects different points in time and space, is the so-called world between worlds. And so, by the way, like if you're watching this right now, go watch Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Clone Wars. They're animated series shows. You don't have to watch every episode, but Google what are the most important or best Clone Wars episodes to watch, and you'll get a list of like the more pertinent episodes. You'll skip the filler stuff because it's a lot. So, but it's a lot. But Stu and I advise you, we implore you to watch these shows.
But this is a good show. Rebels is good.
Yeah, but in that place, which exists outside of reality, Ezra could hear echoes of important moments in the galaxy's past and future. Like you could hear the voices. Like you hear Yoda, you hear Obi-Wan, you even hear Kylo Ren. And the way that the world between worlds connected with time was even more evident after Ezra was able to see Ahsoka fighting Darth Vader. Something that had already happened 2 years ago through a portal. Before Vader could kill Ahsoka, Ezra pulled his friend through the portal, performing the first time travel in Star Wars history. So Ahsoka was now 2 years in the future when he pulled her through. So Vader didn't kill her. So obviously, to everything that had happened to her since the fight with Darth Vader, sorry, oblivious. Yeah, did you say something?
I know. I said it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen, right? But yeah, she had the option to continue to live in the future and help in the fight for Lothal, but she decided to go back to the exact point in history where she left off, as to not skip any, part of life. And as Ahsoka walked back to the ruins of Malachor, Star Wars Rebels questioned if that's how history was always supposed to go, as that was the same scene from the season 2 finale, or if Ezra had changed history somehow. Either way, the fact is that Ahsoka
according to
years into the future and then returned to her original timeline in possession of information from future events.
according to quantum mechanics, that's exactly how it's supposed to go.
Right.
So like you can't say
time
according to quantum mechanics, if that happened like that, that's exactly how
and
it's
that's what was
supposed
supposed to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's Ahsoka and Ezra, World Between Worlds. So yeah, these are the shows that we're talking about. Star Wars Rebels. Definitely want to check those out before you delve too deeply into Ahsoka, which you've got plenty of time because that show has a while to come out. So get on it. Get on it. But yeah, time travel is a very powerful yet complicated tool, both in universe and behind the scenes. The possibilities of revisiting story points and changing them can only be matched by the plot holes and inconsistencies that something like that can cause, which explains why time travel usually a last resort for many franchises. Excuse me. The Avengers franchise, for example, had to utilize time travel to tie up loose ends of the Infinity Saga, and X-Men had done something similar earlier, years earlier, with the Days of Future Past. But for Star Wars, yeah, a saga, in which canon and continuity are as important to fans as the story and characters. Dealing with time travel becomes more complicated. And people are just like, please keep time travel out of Star Wars. But Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm meant a redefinition of what was and wasn't canon for Star Wars, and promised to create a single consistent continuity, which is why they, decanonized legends and things like that. But luckily, we have Dave Filoni coming in, saving the day with, George Lucas on his back, and he's keeping it real with Star Wars and what is supposed to be, because Filoni and Favreau are drawing more and more stuff from Star Wars Legends and putting it into the
I
shows.
agree. They should.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was so much stuff that was approved and written, and then Kathleen Kennedy comes in and says, "No, we can't do that." Like, people still want to see Dash Rendar, Prince Izor. People still want them to do that. Like, Disney they're sitting on a gold mine. All you have to do is just do that. Just do that. Just do Izor, Rendar, because a lot of people want to know what happened to Dash after the video game, after the game, and we got nothing.
It's like they think that it's too weird or something, but it's like that's what Star Wars is about, and that's what the fans want. And but like a show like Ahsoka, is gonna be really for the fans. And if you notice here on the poster, so I'm showing one of the Ahsoka graphics right now on the screen, and you see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka next to the title Ahsoka Star Wars, and behind that there's a bunch of geometrical space, outer space and geometric shapes and lines and circles and things like that, which is highly reminiscent of the World Between Worlds. You see that? You see all that?
I see it. I see the connection.
You see the connections. So yeah, so it's very likely that Ahsoka will definitely do something with the World Between Worlds. Because again, at the end of Rebels, that door that gave access to the Jedi Temple and consequently to the World Between Worlds was sealed. But this means, at least theoretically, that the power to travel between different points in history is now lost forever. That said, not much is known about the World Between Worlds, except that ancient Jedi texts that Luke Skywalker had on Act 2 theorized about its existence. But if Star Wars ever wants to use time travel plot device again, it would be perfectly reasonable to reveal that the World Between Worlds can be accessed through other Jedi temples hidden throughout the galaxy. It doesn't have to be that one place. So, but while it's unlikely that Star Wars will be dealing with time travel again soon, one way that the saga could tackle this topic, if they wanted to, would be through the Ahsoka series. Because the character is the only one to have traveled through time in Star Wars, after all. And her like I said, the logo for her show has very reminiscent design of the World Between Worlds aesthetic. So I think it would be a missed opportunity for them to not utilize something as cool as that, from that show that was a widely loved show by the fans. Fans didn't really start to really dislike anything from Star Wars until Disney came along. I mean, we talk shit about the prequels a little bit, and we talk shit about George Lucas putting CGI in the old movies and little stuff like that, but nobody was ready to quit Star Wars. When the sequel trilogy came out, I heard fans left and right saying I'm done with Star Wars. It's over. Like how Nas said hip hop is dead. Like it's just over.
The
But
creativity is gone.
yeah, but we had The Mandalorian and Dave Filoni is sort of resurgence, sort of breathed life back into Star Wars. So now we're back and we're hungry and we're like, okay, yeah, give us some more Star Wars. Oh, fuck yeah, Boba Fett. You're gonna give us a Boba Fett show? Yes, it's on, boy. And then we got Book of Boba Fett, and motherfuckers was like, oh shit. Damn. Was The Mandalorian a fluke? Because this sucks. But
It's true.
I have
true.
great faith. I have great faith in the Obi-Wan show. I think it's gonna be great. I really do.
Yeah, we just
And
gotta see Friday. We got 48 hours.
yeah,
Watch it. Saturday we'll talk about it. We'll see what's going down. Me, I don't write it off until I see it.
right.
Like I gotta see it, and then I can tell you whether I liked it or not. Like Book of Boba Fett, I didn't shoot it down till I watched it.
Right.
Mandalorian, I didn't shoot it down until I watched it. This show, I'm not gonna shoot it down until I watch it. Trailers look good. Everything looks great so far. From the stuff I'm hearing, sounds good. I just can't wait to watch it. I'm excited for it. So, until the show actually knocks the wind out of my sails, bro, I'm going full steam out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hyped for it. I'm everything positive for it right now until I'm not. And that's when something negative comes out of it or you do something, I'll be like, damn, that was messed up. But for right now, I just got a good feeling about things. I think it's gonna be good. Did I like Book of Boba Fett? I'm about 50-50 on it. It wasn't the greatest Star Wars show I ever saw, but it wasn't the worst either.
What was the worst?
The holiday special.
But that wasn't a show. That was just one thing.
I mean,
but that was really bad.
I mean, back then we just got we got the special. We got 2-hour special order.
Yeah, it was just one.
The hour special because if it came on TV, it was a big thing because stuff like that. Star Wars only got released in the theater. It never, you know what I'm saying? For them to do like a live, full production Star Wars thing and then put it straight to TV, that was big back then. So,
oh yeah,
that was the worst Star Wars thing.
As far as shows go, Boba Fett's definitely been the worst show, like series. And
I've seen, and like I said, my thing with Boba Fett was, I've seen worse. Not many.
It wasn't,
but I've seen worse.
All bad. There was definitely some cool shit with Luke and Grogu and Mando, but there's not much about the Boba Fett stuff that I could get behind. It wasn't just the Teletubbies, the Candy Vespa gang. It was also what they did with the Sand People. They could have done way cooler shit. It was just, but Boba Fett himself. My big complaint was not the Teletubby thing. The Candy Vespas. I could have totally lived with if the Boba Fett character was written well, but the character was just written very poorly. It was just not who Boba Fett is supposed to be. That's not how he.
And Reno, I even get what they were trying to go with, where he kept saying, he clarified himself. He's like, I'm just tired of being a bounty hunter and getting the short end of the stick all the time, or not getting what was promised to me, or people just they say one. He's like, I want to be in charge now. I don't want to be the flunky anymore.
Yeah.
And I get that, but it could have been presented better.
You could have done it better.
Right. It could have been presented better. Like, it could have been a lot more done to present that. Like it would have been better if you saw Boba Fett just start knocking people off.
Yeah, he should have been
major players. Yeah, like he told Kashyyyk, come work for me. Don't stop working for the guy that's gonna do you dirty.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get that, but come on, man, you gotta write that better.
Yeah, he was that let us down, man. That let a lot of us down because Boba Fett was
he was a bad character, man.
He was like the coolest badass of Star Wars.
Cool looking. We was like, man, we saw that. We were like, oh my God, look
Yeah,
at this
I want to
dude.
know more
Who
about
is
this
this
guy.
guy? Yeah. Same thing with Darth Maul. A lot of people complain that Darth Maul he died too quickly, and people are like, damn man, yo, this Joker got a double bladed lightsaber, and he's
Mm-hmm.
good with it. Like he's the bomb, and you kill him. Like Obi-Wan killed him, so
Whackness.
yeah, a lot of people didn't like that. And now they bringing Darth Maul back with robot legs. You shouldn't have just killed him off. It'd been better if you just had Ian McGregor just kicking, catching with a nice Spartan kick, and Spartan kick him down the down that long shaft, because that was a pretty long shaft. And then you could have just did a Gandalf thing where you show him grab his lightsaber, do what he
Mm-hmm.
got to do, and then next thing you know, he came back. But they didn't do that, man. They killed him. So I guess it's cooler to kill the bad guy than it is to give him a chance to live.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But hopefully, they won't botch Obi-Wan, man. So if they don't botch Obi-Wan, if Obi-Wan is dope, then I'm sure Ahsoka's gonna be great, and the next Mandalorian's gonna be great. I would rather. I'm quicker to think that Boba Fett was a fluke rather than Mando being a fluke, because Mando had 2 great seasons. The second one was better than the first one. So that's not a fluke. And off that, we're getting Ahsoka and all of that. So I think Boba was the fluke. I think Mando was the rule, and Obi-Wan is going to follow that. You know.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm just, I'm like I said, I make my own opinion. When I see it, I'll be able to tell you. We'll talk about it Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it popping Saturday. So
Yes, sir. Sir.
so it just is. Yeah, but anyway, with that, man, I gotta break out. I gotta start getting ready for work, man.
Yep.
And I'm excited for Obi-Wan and Stranger Things. Look, Friday, I'm gonna get it in. TV wise, I'm gonna get it in. I don't know about the rest of you guys in the chat, but I'm gonna get it in Friday.
Getting it in. We should do like a watch party.
We could. I'll be at work when it comes out. Unless we do it. Unless we do it like that Friday, like that Friday afternoon or something like that. Because
Yeah.
the episodes are being released for us at 3 a.m.
Right. 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 a.m. for us.
Because so whatever midnight in Cali. So midnight in Cali, and they're what are they? They're 4 hours behind, aren't they?
They're 3 hours behind us.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, so it should be 3.
Yeah, so that's all it is, man. Yeah, Stranger Things, and then we got Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's supposed to be pretty cool. Top Gun was epic, man. You could make fun of Tom Cruise all you want. Top Gun was epic.
Top Gun is epic. Oh, it was. Top Gun is epic.
It was a great time.
I can't find anybody alive today that saw that movie and didn't like it.
That was alive back then. Yeah.
Yeah, especially the people that was alive back then. But even now, when people rewatch it, they're like, "Yeah, this was all right."
It's still great. Yeah, it's still a great movie. It still holds up.
It's good cinema. Good cinema.
It is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm putting on Thon's Lightning. I can't decide if the long one should go on his leg or his arms. So he's got this short little lightning, and then he's got these longer lightnings. But I'm thinking the short ones look better on the legs. Almost like a you know how Namor has the little ankle wings.
Yeah, ankle wings. Yeah.
And then you could throw this one up here on the arm.
They should have gave you like a thing to make him float, because Thorn runs so fast that his feet don't touch the ground. Like,
Right. Well, he's got this for his foot. This is this goes under one of his feet right here. So I guess it's to be like that.
I guess it shows you the running speed
But-
force falling off him.
The
The
Wild
Wally
West
West one.
has the exact same pieces. They actually they're identical. The body sculpt on these are virtually identical. The only
Except for the
difference
heads.
the only difference being the heads and the colors. But yeah, they got the same. They come with all the same pieces. You see, there's the foot piece.
Oh, that's crazy.
Uh,
Yeah, that's crazy. But it's dope. Dope at the same time.
There we go. All right. Yeah, and this Godspeed dude is cool, but he comes with these two lightning pieces, but they don't do anything. You can't stick them on him nowhere. They're just lightning that you can just.
Let me see those. I think they go on his hands. They go around his hands.
But there's not even like wrist parts for them to go on his hand, unless maybe he can hold them.
Let me see. I think you put them in his hands, because I saw it on Big Bad Toy Store. They had it like they have.
Oh,
like,
they got it set up on Big Bad. Okay, I'll look on Big Bad. That's where I get some of my pose ideas, because they have some great poses. But yeah, maybe I can attach him to his hand some way. Be like he's shooting out force lightning. Where's that other piece? Yeah, I can put this one on there on his wrist. Somehow. Just wrap that around there. But yeah,
what you got?
I'll find a dope pose on Big Bad and
Get it popping.
get him popping, hook him up.
Hook him up, man.
Hook him up. All right, y'all. We gotta go. Still gotta fight crime. Peace to the fam. One.
Peace.